right. What a beautiful night. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I appreciate your time. It's Afro Economics Live. We're talking about getting our money straight. Yes. Doing the right thing with our dollars. We can do this. I like that. I like that. They like it too. Keep your money straight, ladies. Yes, and gentlemen. Our Black Wealth Matters. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of Afro Economics. Can I get an amen? We got Star and Weeda in the studio with my husband, Michael Robinson. It is a great night. We're talking about solving this challenge that is approaching us, solving the problem that we can avoid. Americans are running out of money. Yes, the research is in, and we got over 20% of the people are running out of money before their next paycheck arrives. This is a challenge, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. And I want this to be an active discussion. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the ladies in the studio. I want us to, begin our flow, but I do want, some feedback on, how are you feeling out there? What are you seeing? And, this is according to the Census Bureau that is sharing the data. They're going around, they're surveying people, the Labor Department. These numbers are real. So I'm gonna start from the top, and also have some graphics. Today's topic that I sent out to you, so make sure that you register, because I always send out the discussion topic. It's millions of Americans will soon run out of money. Check out how to deal with bills that you can't pay. If that happens, let's make sure that it doesn't. That is the goal. Let's make sure that we get that straight. The goal of Afro Economics is to make sure that you're not one of the growing number and millions of Americans who are having that challenge. That's what we're doing. That's why we're taking this time. That's why you make the investment. That's why we spend the time together, so that we can make strong financial choices with our dollars. Inflation has hit a new 40-year high of over 8%. Over 8% cost of living. Those hikes are in rents, in gas prices, in mortgages. It's funny because the statistics say like rents have gone up, but the price of homes have gone up. So what does that mean? That means mortgages have gone up, interest rates have gone up. But they try to make like as if it's only impacting, renters, or that everyone that has a mortgage is in a fixed interest rate mortgage. That's not true. It's not true. This inflation is impacting everyone's living expenses. Food has gone up. Groceries are ridiculous, y'all. It costs me twice as much to fill up my vehicle, Benita. Twice as much. Greetings right back at you, Quentin. This is outrageous. So let's look. I'm gonna do everything I can to stick to my notes. Roughly 20% of employees surveyed regularly run out of money between paychecks. Up to 15% last year, up from 15% in 2020. This is for 2021, so it's 2020 numbers. According to a survey of more than 3,000 worker adults in this February of 2022. Goodness. So that's roughly 20% of employees as of this February of 2022 are running out of money between paychecks. And that's up from 2021, just 4 months ago. As a result, about 1/4 of those, so that's 25% of those polled, said it's harder to afford necessary expenses. And 1/3, so that's 33%, are unable to build savings. Issues that are particularly problematic for low to moderate income workers. So I want to see. I want to show you something because it's more interesting if I show you this. So it will look better to you when you see it. Because I'm gonna try to blow it up. So I'm gonna share the screen. All right, it's easier than you think. I got this. So the headline is 1 in 5 workers runs out of money before payday, survey finds. So I want to show this. Inflation is outpacing wage growth. So they keep like saying, oh, we're going to slow down the economy, because we wanted to slow down this inflation. So they're increasing the interest rates, but people are using their credit cards to pay bills and having to take out loans to pay basic bills. I'll show you in some of the other numbers that show that. But here it is, 2019. The blue line is inflation, and it was down here below 2%. I hope you can see my arrow. Y'all let me know in the studio if you can see my little pointer. And then here we are as of October, near the end of last year, 6.2. Now that's 8.5. So the graph is even going up here, and look, this is hourly earnings. So they popped up in 2020. Woo! Give everybody, some extra money. And then it tanked a year later to the, April to the next April. It's tanked and slowly trying to creep our wages, hourly earnings back up. So hourly earnings, the money you're making is not keeping up with the cost of living. What's going on, Kenneth? How you doing? I'm gonna bring y'all in and I'm hoping I bring in Weta that her oh, good, everything is good. Y'all let me know if that echo starts. And the Tara with the blank screen. But we see
Hey,
you.
JB. It's blank because I'm at date night and I'm in the car listening to you in the dark.
Oh,
So
well, it's
don't be
good
yelling
to
about
see
that.
you. Good to see your name.
Good seeing you too.
Look at that, Chris. Chris, you know you need to turn yours on. There we go. I don't know why it's doing that. It might be Chris. Oh, I think it's Weta. Dang, Weta. Time out again. No, Weta, mute. Try muting. I think that's better. I don't know. It's not you.
I don't think it's me.
Yes, sir. I wonder why it's doing that. I think it's because you have those two computers. You see her going back and forth. She got that two computers going. How you doing, Mr. Jones? I saw you shake your head when I was saying about wages aren't going up as much as the cost of things. That's that's the sad part about it, because when asked of the Federal Reserve, what are you going to do about the income problem? He said, I didn't know that inflation impacted different socioeconomic groups differently. Isn't that sad?
Sad and not true.
It's so sad. Like I'm gonna show you. There's an article, Washington Post, where the great article on low income, high inflation inequality. And then here's another. I'm gonna show you this. I like this one. Workers run out. But I have another one which breaks down the difference between income levels and the percentage of your income that is spent on different things. And I'm going to use it. I'm going to go to the article instead of sharing this one because I'm going to have to share this, but I will explain to you what you're looking at. So I'm going to show you this one because it will shine the light on some good stuff. I'm going to look at my document. Okay. So here is the graphic. Oh, it's on the Washington Post. Let's see if you can see this. But it must be another one. Oh, here it is. Low income. Can you see this graphic? Just say yeah, if you can. Low income American spend. Can you see that? I can see. Can you see? Okay, great. Let me go back to it. So on this, I know you can't see exactly what it says, but I'm gonna use my pointer to help you. I'm gonna go back. So, and I don't know which one it's showing, but on the top level, it's that level, that top line at the top. That's shelter. That's shelter. I'm gonna share. See if I started from the beginning. But it shows that, and you're like, just do it. Stop telling me what you're gonna do. Just do it. Here it comes. Watch this. So this line, I hope this is a little better, shows low-income Americans spend more on necessities. So share of spending that went to each category in 2020, and it shows that the lower your income, the higher the percentage of your income that has to go to living. So the 20% of America lower earners spend over 25% of their income just on living, just on shelter. And this is pre 8.5% inflation. So imagine where it is now. Groceries, over 10% of their income is spent on groceries. Utilities, almost 10%. Healthcare, but this light blue line is what your highest 20% of earnings, what portion of, like, look, their money, their portion of their income needed for food is considerably lower. See that shelter, the percentage considerably lower. So when the Federal Reserve says, I didn't know that inflation, impacts, different socioeconomic groups, he really should be ashamed of himself saying it out loud. So and this is, the dark blue is the lowest earning income level that spends about 10% on utilities, fuels, public services. And isn't that interesting? Where only 5% of the higher income is needed for paying for the utilities and fuels and things. And I think about this because I remember having an older property and a newer property. So a higher income earner is more likely to live in a newer property. A newer property is more likely to have energy efficient things in it. How you doing, Ms. Golightly? How you doing, Queen Howard? Do you feel me? So if you have the opportunity that you have this new home with new utilities or upgraded stuff in it, you actually are spending a lower percentage of your money because you have energy efficient things. I remember I had this older property, basically the same square footage. But when I moved to a newer property, my utilities went down to a fraction of what I was paying for utilities in the older property. So where is a person in a low income more likely to live? In a new energy efficient property or in an older property that has baseboard heat, things like that, that are costing them. So they're using that. So when utilities go up, then it's impacting, the lower income, the lower 20% income even more. Isn't that something? Interesting, to think about. So low income Americans spend more of their money on necessities, contrary to popular thought that they try to suggest that because they have subsidized housing, maybe, that they're not taking care of responsibilities. But that's not, you know what I mean? It's not true. And it even costs them more. They even have to be more responsible. It says, while inflation is rising everywhere, price hikes are particularly devastating to lower income households with already tight budgets. Nearly all their expenses go to necessities, food, energy, housing, and which has seen some of the largest. These are the areas that have the highest amount of inflation over this past year. Food, energy, housing has gone up the most. But yet, the Biden administration put billions of dollars into school loan subsidies. To make sure that more people's school loans are paid off. So according to Census Bureau, 1 in 5 adults, I'm going to go, lives in households that were unable to pay all their utilities in the last year. 1 in 5 adults lived in households that were unable to pay all their utilities in the last year. That might be due to the increased cost of utilities over the course of the pandemic, or what? No more stimulus and not sending out the earned income tax credits anymore. And now many Americans are running out of money. And many Americans have reported increased difficulty in paying their bills. May 2021, the Census Bureau Household Pulse Survey said that 46% of the respondents said they had no gift difficulty. This is May 2021. They're sending out that income tax credit, that earned income tax credit. They're sending out, just got a stimulus. And it's 46% of respondents said they had no difficulty paying usual household expenses. Then by December, that had dropped to 39%. And 49.9, they might as well say 50% of the respondents said they were having trouble paying their household bills. Look, and still we get reports saying that the economy is steadily improving. What exactly do we use? I mean, what exactly do we use as the measure of the economy? Oh, you force people to take low-paying jobs that they can't even pay their bills. Think about that. People are going to work 40 hours a week because they can't get unemployment. So they're going back to take the job. The wages have been declined. So everybody was like, in 2020, if they had gone off unemployment, then they would have got higher wages. So those people that went back, they got the highest wages in history. Hopefully they're still making it. But people who are now have accepted these jobs out of desperation, are getting low wages that aren't even keeping pace with the cost of living. That's just not appropriate. That's just not appropriate. That you still are living in poverty and you're working 40 hours a week. I don't even. This. Oh. So, so since the economy has been steadily improving, that's what the quote says. There's a deterioration in household finances, and they're saying in this article, the Yahoo Finance, that the economy is improving, but the deterioration in household finances isn't due to worsening unemployment or falling incomes. But the last stimulus check, so what does it due to? Okay. But the last stimulus check went out in the first half of 2021. The emergency federal jobless benefits ended in September. With inflation at 6.8, buying power is also eroding at the same time, and aid is drying up. Lord, what did I just say without saying it that way? That's why it's important that we have these discussions, because a lot of stuff that is presented to us is presented unnecessarily complicated, and it softens. Basically what it's saying is that people are going back and accepting these jobs out of desperation, and they're not being paid appropriately in order to make a livable standard of living. We still have no government mandate for a livable wage. The minimum wage is still inappropriate. And then it makes reference of the federal relief of the child tax credit expired in December. We know that. So people are running out of money. We know that. And these articles go on to say that consumers had been saving during the pandemic. Americans saved money since it had been difficult to go out and show the and to do anything early in the pandemic. So savings rates were up. Savings rates were up from 8% to 33% by April 2020. From March, well, I mean, really, what was that, like a month? Now people are spending all their savings and they're borrowing more. And that savings rate is down from 8% to 6%. And more people are using credit cards. According to the Census Bureau, more people are using credit cards to pay for routine expenses. So what does that mean? I know Queen Howard said modern day slavery. I was thinking that and did not want to say it. Supported by the government so that the economy will stay strong. We have to know our worth. That's right, Ms. Leeper. How do we? How do we? You know, how do we? As an entrepreneur, I have to remind myself not to get sad, because we don't live in a society that supports entrepreneurship at all. It's not trying to help businesses or people start businesses or people build businesses. You know, there's not that push to it. It's just you go and get that job that's not paying you enough, and you accept that low wage, because if you really literally now, if you can't get a job as a Black person for the government, you really have a challenge, because most of corporate America is made up by white workers. Black workers predominantly have to get a job with the government, and that helps them build wealth because it has things in place that have helped us not be discriminated against. Because you stay at the job for a certain amount of years, you do your job, they're required to consider you for a step up, and a step up, and a step up. In corporate America, it doesn't work like that. you can get a step aside. And step aside, and somebody else gets a step up, and they get a step over. But so the government has been a safe place for us. But the government is not hiring as much as it used to. And most of the people working, not most, I don't know, but a large percentage of the people working now for the government are now contractors. So now they're contractors, and basically you're an entrepreneur, but you're not being groomed as an entrepreneur. So you're wasting a lot of your career thinking that you work somewhere, but you don't. Because when that contract's over, you can be out of work. So you need to be developing an entrepreneurship mindset when you're getting a 1099. You're an entrepreneur if you take yourself seriously, and you can be working on additional career opportunities for your business during that time with that contractor. But if you're working with a contractor and they're giving you a W-2 and they're not giving you considerable benefits, you really need to think about that. You really need to think, is this worth it for me to do this work for the government and I'm not getting the benefits of a government employee? But we have to open our mind. And honestly, that, there is I'm sure it makes people feel better to get a job because you know exactly what you're going to get at the end of the week. And my entire career, it has been based on I work and I pray that something good happens during the week. Even before I became a stockbroker, I was in sales. So I have been in sales since I only had a corporate job for 7 weeks at a bank. Then I went into sales. So I can't imagine, the opportunities that you all have. But at the same time, I thank God for the freedom that I have as an entrepreneur. Yeah, Ms. Askew said safety is expensive. Yes, but also entrepreneurship, you have to have an incredibly strong work ethic. I work a lot harder than I would work for anyone else. There's no way. If I were working a corporate job, I wouldn't be working now at 8:27 p.m. every Wednesday night for the last, I don't know how many years. We're doing that. No. Corporate America, I'd have 2 weeks off and somebody else would substitute, and so you have that. But now I believe that if we learn a different way of living and become independent, financially independent minded, that I have to become an enterprise myself. That because we're robbed of that. We're told go to college and get a job. We're not told go to college, get skills, start a business. And you're an enterprise and you're the greatest and you can do this thing. We're not told that. But that's what I'm hoping, that we can have this new generation that's coming out of college that's going to go begging for a job, that can realize that you can, if you're disciplined, start something and it can really build a career for you. And you can really have everything that they would have in corporate America and more, and have an asset that you've built over time. That you can do this. But in times like this, as an entrepreneur, it's not easy. Because all of the bills, all of the expenses, you're paying that. You're paying the expenses. Inflation for entrepreneurs, that's why the stocks, and going into my arena of the stock market, that's why your small company stocks have been taking some big hits. They've been pulling the market forward. But a lot of your technology and small companies that are publicly traded are getting hit because of the interest rate increases are making it more expensive for them to finance the growth of the company. And stock prices move higher based on future earnings potential of the company. Earnings potential, not just sales. But and a lot of times we just think, oh, business is sales. No, business is sales, but it's how much money you make on each sales. That's your earnings. How profitable is that company? So when you have to pay higher interest rates because the loans and the financing is going to be more difficult, like what the Fed is doing to interest rates now, it makes it more expensive for small businesses to move forward over the short term. Yes, indeed. I'm so glad, Ms. Leeper. Yes, indeed. Work hard. Build that business. That's right. Amen. Keep that. Yes, indeed. Ms. Richardson, in a minute, your comment's going to come from behind my logo. So let's say the solution. What to do? What to do? Make a list. No matter what your income is, this is going to impact you. It's just that the more money you make, the easier it is to go without. The more money that you make, the more fluff is in your budget. So you have someone that 90% of their income goes to necessities, like a lower income person, but many of you, 50% of your income goes to necessities. The other 50, you have to talk to me about not wasting. That's a blessing. So for everybody at this point, we have to, say, well, what do I make a list of the expenses and the money that you have coming in and these bills that are going out. And I'm praying that the people who really need this will hear this, that you can be financially stable, but you deserve to do these things for you. You deserve to take every dollar of what you make seriously. If you saw how hard it was for me in my first year of business of 1995, and how I would get to a toll booth and pray that I had enough money to pay for the toll and to get to the meeting that I was working on. And there was no government loan, no government set aside, no women in business groups and stuff like that. In 1995, I was out there all by myself in a white man's world, trying to and praying that I would just be in business for 2 years. So don't make excuses. Just do the budget. Just do the budget. I know, sitting in my office trying to figure out how I was going to eat. So don't make excuses. Make the budget. Make the budget. Make the list of expenses. Think about, in the worst of times, what do I need to make sure that I have? And realize that cash is king right now. The person that has cash is going to win. I mean, hey, everybody can love on all of these other alternative currencies and waste your money doing that. But if you want to eat right now and next week and in the near future, that's what I'm talking about. You need some cash. Get your cash up. Get your emergency fund up. We don't have any money to waste. None. You got to prioritize the things that you put into this budget that we have for this. Let's call it our emergency budget. We have to set food, shelter, utilities, medical. Like if you had to go do what's your copay? What do you have to do when you go to the doctor? What? And the older you are, the more expensive your medical expenses can be. On average, $250,000 of retirement money for seniors goes to uncovered medical expenses, and that was before affordable health care came out and made you have to pay even more out of pocket. Come on. Medicare is, in my opinion, one of the worst insurances out there. Medicare for our older people. And I remember people would be like, I can't wait to get on Medicare. They need to check it out. And it's not free. So prioritize your budget, and you might have to stop eating out as much. You might have to postpone some of those trips to Dubai for right now. That was a whole bunch of black folk went to Dubai with them stimulus checks. You may have to ride the bike to work. Yes, you agree we're stealing from our seniors. Yeah, it's true the government has outsourced to private companies. That's right, Chris. In the last 20 years, a lot. But see, they do that because they get to save money. Then they don't have to provide a pension to these people. They don't have to provide these benefits to those people. So when they outsource, positions, the government saves a whole lot of money. Yes, indeed. And my husband's business is selling vintage gear. And I knew nothing about it until I met him and he started showing me how much money I was wasting. I had no idea. Buying, if you get the vintage, right, Mr. Harden, you can get brand, he has like name brand stuff with labels on it sometimes that he finds. Never been worn. And you're able to get it at a much better price. So, definitely check out Encore Vintage _VA on Instagram, but it's, about finding lots of stuff. He has lots of sports gear, stuff like that. College students love it because they're able to save money and still get your jerseys and still get your stuff. So definitely, yes. Yeah, seniors are paying a lot of money out of pocket for their healthcare expenses. So check on what stuff is coming out every month. Look at your credit card statements. Look at your checking account statements. And that is so true though, because we sign up for this stuff and then we forget. The star says she is not thrilled about Medicare. I know. Look. And then I say that, but it's true. If I were in politics, my thing would be stop robbing the seniors with Medicare, because the Affordable Care Act, when it shifted and it became a good program, the Medicare basically lost its own. It took like the goodness from Medicare and added that program, but it like diluted Medicare in an attempt to provide healthcare access to everyone else. And that really hasn't been, brought to the attention of how much seniors sacrifice in order to do that. Yes, set it on auto pay if you can. Spoken like a person with some money. I don't put nothing on auto pay except for insurance. Something I know I got to make sure I have. Look, Cheryl's like, I know I got that money. You put it on auto pay. And it's true, especially if a person has salary and you know what you're going to make every month, every time. You know what I'm saying? I have to admit, if I didn't if the company didn't make a lot of money, I'm not going to pay myself a lot of money. So that's why I keep my personal bills down. But I can do that because it's my business. But if you work somewhere, you're constantly trying to increase your income, because that's the only way to make money, right, Imani? That's the only way. It's good to see you in here, Imani. That's indeed. You are officially the youngest person in here. I wish you would turn on your camera. Our recent college graduate in Afroeconomics. She was in Afroeconomics all the way through college. I'm so proud of you, girl. That's indeed. I really am. I was so turned. She's like, nah, I'm driving down the street. She probably doing something. She got that entrepreneur spirit. So proud of you. Now she got a job. Afroeconomics, we are doing it. So let me go into so that's about the solution, is to make sure that you're in tune with exactly what's coming out, how you're going to pay it, what the priorities are. Like Cheryl said, like, what that priority is, and you got to make it paid, and you're getting paid a certain amount a month. Go ahead and put that on auto. Put it on if you can. And then what if you can't pay something that's really important? If you can't pay your mortgage, or you can't pay your rent, there has been that time during COVID, and according to the trends, it looks like we're headed back that way, with the cost of living going up so drastically and the paychecks not going up. So what if you can't pay, and it's something that's very important? The key is to communicate. Don't assume that they won't turn it off. I have some numbers that say that they are indeed shutting power off. They're shutting people down in record numbers. I think there was a time during the pandemic, I think we're still in a national crisis, but there was a time where the utilities companies would not turn you off. Utilities across the country are taking steps to shut you off, right? No, but shutoffs are surging. Nearly 1 million households had their power cut over the last year. And that's according to the Center for Biological Diversity reported. And that only includes 17 states that would admit the numbers. But the U.S. Census estimates that the real numbers for utilities being shut off is over 3 million households. They said 3.4 million people with their power shut off. Call and write your creditors, right? Get some time. You better not write. You better call. You better email. If you write, you better send it with a certified letter. Something is guaranteed, but I'm telling you, don't play. Chris says, don't lose your home if you fall on hard times. Try to find a roommate you can trust. Exactly. So you be a statistic, right? I'm just joking. Nah, but try to find, Airbnb or something on weekends, and stay with family on weekends and do something to create income. Exactly. Back in the day, I had, Chris said that she had roommates back in the day. Back then they didn't want me. Now they all on me, right, Chris? Chris said she got it now. But you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. Don't ignore them. Talk to them. Communicate to them. Talk to the utility companies. I don't believe that they would shut off. I don't know, though. Somebody will have to tell me. But I would hope that they would not shut off your utilities if you actually try to make some sort of arrangement with them. Do something. Why is that funny to you, Mr. Jones? You got to turn on your speaker for that one. What'd you say? I can't hear you.
Star put a comment up there that two of her girlfriends, they're going to be like the black Golden Girls.
Scoped out my house just in case. I know that's right. I know that's right. I told Ms. Muhammad, she's a member of Afro Economics, and she was talking about the future. I said, Ms. Muhammad, me and Mike will be right there with you. We're gonna be right there. She said, come on, and that's sweet. I will be right there. We'll do rotate. We'll just rotate. We could all just rotate homes. I know that's right. But the it hopefully it won't come to anything like that. You know, you don't lose it. Don't lose it. It don't. Exactly. Just communicate. So credit card bills. U.S. credit card debt hit an all-time high of $930 billion. Debt surpassed the 870 billion peak during the 2008 financial crisis. No, credit card delinquency rates increased 16% for the prior quarter. We're talking about last quarter to 5.32. So it was 0.16%. Goodness. So the delinquency rate was less than 1%, and now it's over 5%. With the most of the delinquencies coming from people between 18 and 29. Portion of payments late 90 days or more rose. So 90 days or more late rose to 5.3, up from 5.18 in the prior quarter. So delinquencies on credit cards are up. And it's really with our young people a lot. And then I mentioned to you about the Biden-Harris administration and school loans, putting out mad money to help people with school loans. But they actually also extended the student loan pause through August 31. But think about it, y'all. The earned income tax credit was stopped. But the student loans, you all, that's a luxury. An earned income tax credit is something that you are going to get back at the end of the year anyway. All they're doing is giving you your money. So instead of giving you the money that they shouldn't be, you know what I mean? You shouldn't be giving anyway, because you're going to get the tax credit. So it's just giving you the tax credit. Instead of giving you that, they're putting funding into a luxury, like a student loan. Now, of course, I have mine, and I paid it. And I think there's something to be said about that, because we have to realize that school loans are not a necessity. It's a luxury item. But feeding your kids is a necessity. And people can't feed their kids. They can't wait to the end of the year to get the credit back to feed their kids or house their kids. And child care expenses are higher and higher. This is a problem. But we need to have a government environment that gets it. Like, yeah, this is nice. Okay, but, why don't we think about these babies over here that are now suffering because you stopped the child tax credit and their mom's not getting appropriate pay anyway. It says the Department of Education is committed to ensuring that student loan borrowers have a smooth transition back to repayment, but they abruptly stopped the women from getting their child tax credit. But we want to do the school loan smoothly. Must be nice. So I want people to consider What do I do about this? How do I plan for this? And I want you to get it that Afroeconomics has a free level. Afroeconomics has an absolutely free level for you to check out. Now, it's just online and you don't get the one-on-one time with me, but it is the beginning. And you get to come to all of the meetings that I have. Come on. You get to be around all of these resources, you know what I mean, that are just dying to help and to build on one another. Like, y'all are just beautiful. So we have to take responsibility. If you want to be financially successful and stable, I am committed to your success. All you got to do is want it. Also, there is a nonprofit called the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, and they have a nationwide network of nonprofit agencies that provide financial counseling. I don't know anything about them, but I just thought I would throw that in there because I saw it in an article, and I do feel that if you're doing something like that, it should be with a nonprofit. And I'm hoping that this National Foundation for Credit Counseling is working with nonprofits that are not trying to rob us. But I'm committed to your financial success. And that's about all I can say. So the households currently owe utility companies, just an interesting point here, nearly $20 billion. That's 67% more that is owed on utilities than the average year. 20 billion, that's 67% higher. Utilities bills have been increasing over the course of the pandemic. Gas prices, y'all know they're outrageous. The increase in American electricity bills from 29 to 2020 has been about 23%, 40% in 14 states, and going higher. We have to take some steps. If these are challenges for you, utilities, the child tax credit being taken from you, the anything, trying to figure out how to get your wages higher. If you're interested in, how to start a business with nothing, I started my business with customers. I ain't gonna say with nothing. I started my business with customers. So when people say, what do I need in order to start a business? I'm gonna tell you, you need customers. That's it. I had this customer and I said, hey, I'm starting my own firm. I was at this investment firm, and I said, I'm starting my own firm, and I started the own firm. That's it. No money, no loans, no partner, no, you know what I'm saying? Just work and a client. And here we are, over 27 years later. Come on, y'all. But it's a whole bunch of grit, a whole bunch of sacrifice, a whole bunch that goes in there. Even if you're, more importantly, the overwhelming majority of us are going to work somewhere. And if you're working somewhere, you have to make sure that you maximize that experience because you don't own it. You can't sell that company that you work for. So that's why in Afroeconomics, we do so much on helping you maximize the benefits that you have at work. I appreciate your corporate experience as much as I appreciate my entrepreneurship experience. I admire it so much because I know the patience that it takes to stay in the government or corporate America for all those decades that many of my clients have been there. Somebody posted a meme, a girl I've known forever, named Kim Williams, and she posted on her Facebook wall, it said, I just want to send a shout out to all my coworkers. You know, we have a special kind of bonding. We both go through the same torture all day for 8 hours. I was like, 8 hours a day, all day. But I was like, that is funny because I really didn't think it was going to go that direction. It was like, it's like, but when the type of commitment that it takes to build a successful career at anything is beautiful. And I want to support that by making sure that you're taking and putting away the money that you deserve for yourself so that you will have an asset that takes care of you for the rest of your life when you retire. You want to have, because so many places don't have a pension anymore. And as the research pointed out, that the higher income people, they save so much of their income into their retirement account. So if things get tighter, all they have to do is save a little bit less and they continue with their lifestyle. But when you're have a tighter income and you're living from paycheck to paycheck already, times like this are a lot harder. And it's not really income. It's not really an income issue because there's a lot of people making $200,000 a year, but they're still living month to month. So it's not really an income issue. It's what are you doing with the money that you make? Because a lot of people, so what I'm talking about is these statistical generalizations, because in reality, people who have a little bit of money really are very emotionally equipped to make it through the worst of times because we know how it is to live tight. And a lot of people, as you saw during the pandemic, when they're used to making 200 and all of a sudden it says the law firm has to close down and you're not going to make any money, the government starts scurrying around and says, what can we do? What can we do? Oh, let's send extra. Let's send extra. You know what I mean? But when there is a average problem, we don't get that type of support. We don't get that kind of help. The only reason that the pandemic got that type of support from Congress is because it impacted everybody. Now this problem only impacts the lower income, middle and lower income people the most. So you see, the Federal Reserve Chairman says, I don't understand what you're talking about. How does inflation impact different socioeconomic groups? Not my concern. My thing is to slow down the economy, and it really doesn't matter how it gets done with the little man. It's going to get done. But we have to, be aware of our strength. This is where we show out. This is where we show our best. That's the only thing I didn't like about the pandemic. It was just, it was making people soft with the PPP and the, and the stimulus and the this and that. You can't get strong with getting cushions all the time. You can't get strong unless you got a heavy load to pick up and push and pull and carry. So they're trying to convince you that when you run into a crisis in business, the government is going to come through. That's not true. They just don't. That was rare. That is once of a freaking lifetime. It's not going to happen this time. We got to figure this out. That's why I didn't take the PPP money, because I don't want to figure out how I have to pay you back now in a struggling economy, in my opinion, that you think is doing so well that you have to slow it down. Interesting, isn't it? Now it's like, Be careful. Be careful. Y'all turn y'all mics on for a second. Be careful. Like I saw this movie one time, and it was talking about the crack man. Like when they wanted to introduce crack or they had a new flavor or something, they would come into the hood and just throw it up in the air and give it to you. You know, just give it out. So then the next thing you know, like you were addicted to it. You were addicted to it. So now myself, I tell my daughter, like whenever we go somewhere, you go to a restaurant or something and they give you something free, I tell her that's always the crack. That's always the crack. They always come, when they come to the table, they give you the bread. That's the crack. That's the crack. That's the nothing. To get you distracted from your vegetables and your meat and the stuff that they really need to be coming with. They don't want to give you none of that. They want to give you all this pasta, all this messed up, jacked up bread, all of this, you know, the junk. Stop allowing yourself to get all caught up with the junk. Now we have to get lean and mean and get to the substance of what we're going to do to pull ourselves to the next financial level. How are we going to get to the next level? It's going to have to be a strategy. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some, what we talk about, lack of distractions, some focus, because it's not going to be given to you, and they're not going to bring back the earned income tax credit advance anymore, and they're not, and the school loans are not going to be deferred forever, and somebody's going to pay the school loans back. So don't depend on that. It's coming. Matter of fact, you should be making the payment anyway. How in the world can a government, people that work for the government, be happy that the government charges them for having the loan? They have to pay the loan 10 years. They have to pay the loan 10 years, and then the government says, you don't owe us anymore. But I paid you for 10 years, and I worked for you. And I worked for you. I worked for you, and I paid you. Well, I mean, seriously, how in the world did they get away with that? And then when they, you know what I mean, say it's not due anymore, there's really not that much left on the loan after the 10 years. They didn't do anything. And we just settle and accept that type of stuff. Be careful when you sign the dotted line. Don't get it. If you don't need it, don't get it. Any of it. Credit cards, cars. It showed that low-income people spend as a percentage of income about the same amount on cars as rich people. The only considerable difference was on savings, that people who are the highest income save more for their future. So they're taking their extra money, according to that research, and they're saving more. So we think about getting more money so that we can spend more. But in reality, we need to be thinking about making more money so we can save more. That good cornbread, you so that's crap too. They trying to say that the bread they bring to the table is good. No, don't believe the hype. You throw it back at them. No, but y'all know what I mean. Like with the French fries. You know what I'm saying? The little burger would be like this big, and then the French fries be a whole stack on the plate. I'm like, could you bring some meat? They're like, no, because beef prices are really high, which is true. How small are they going to make a hamburger? You know, it's gonna, the bread's not going to be that big, because you know a lot of bread is coming out of Russia and Ukraine. And so there's not the bread, but like the yeast and the wheat and all this, you know. So be prepared. They're not going to be giving that free. You might get some popcorn. But focus on the substance, the nutrition of everything. That's right, Queen Howard. You know, focus on getting the truth, getting what you deserve, getting and disciplining yourself, disciplining your finances. Join Afro Economics, even if it is just the free level. Become a part of something that is a part of where you want to go. Set goals. Say, I'm going to get in the free level, but I'm going to graduate. Uh-oh. Red Lobster biscuits. Crack for real, man. You know it, Mr. Jenkins. You know that's crack. You know that's crack. And they keep you coming back for them. You know it is. You know, right? Right, Chris? Right?
Don't shut a biscuit for a bomb.
Yes. Mr. Jenkins said,
I detox though after I take them.
you gonna have to. You gonna have to. That's right, Mr. Jenkins. She said you got to detox. I love you all so much. Y'all are the best. I hope that you'll hang out with me next week. Go to afroeconomics.com. I'm gonna make sure that I put that up so that you can see it exactly how everything is. Go to afroeconomics.com and you can subscribe there. You can click for membership. Oh, I love you more than that, Star. Thank you so much. You're the best. And I don't if you have any specific questions, don't hesitate. Go to afroeconomics.com and you can click chat and it'll email me directly there. jb@jdbryan.com 1-844 JB Y'all so good.
JB.
Yes.
Can you repeat Michael's website?
Yes. Encore. ENCOREVINTAGE. Encore Vintage _ VA. That is the Instagram.
Okay.
You know, IG is it now. Right?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. Uh-oh. Get up. You know, Mr. Jones, you a little young for this one. You don't remember this.
I thank you.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I was playing this for Chris. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Leeper. Y'all have a great night. I was playing it for Weeda. It was for you, Weeda. Y'all love that. They still partying to that in ATL. Hip hop. That's y'all. How you know it? ATL all night. They love that New York stuff.
I'm a Motown.
Motown. Don't forget, I'll be in DC next Thursday and Friday. We're having our meeting there Friday, working all day Thursday and Friday in the DC office, Northwest. So,
I sent you an email this morning.
Oh, I didn't get it. I will look for it now. Thank you.
And we can talk about it in the next session.
In a second. I'm sorry.
No, we can talk about it about our next.
Oh, good, great. We'll talk about it. Thank you.
Everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Is the meeting in person? Yep.
Only.
Oh no, I'm gonna do both. We'll be there so you get to see everybody. Hopefully the weather will be great. Let's have a day party.
Good
I'm
deal.
gonna get the big room. We're gonna party like it's 2022.
Good night.
Good night. On the 22nd. Yeah. 22 and 2022. See y'all soon. Good night, Miss Daniels. Good night, Miss Fleming. How you doing? Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Wanda P. Thank you, Miss Gallo. Thank you, Cheryl. Ask you good night. Good night.